Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here, and welcome to today's pregame report where the Edmonton Oilers are going to be taking on the Florida Panthers for the first time since Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. In fact, this absolute juggernaut, this absolute nightmare of a team has defeated our Edmonton Oilers 2 years in a row in the Stanley Cup Finals, and I love what this matchup could bring for the Oilers on an emotional level. I've talked a lot about their emotions the last couple games. They're playing for each other. They're more engaged. We have Darnell Nurse sticking up for teammates, and tonight is going to be one of those games where emotions are going to be extra elevated. And because of how high these emotions could get, and I think the team acknowledges is likely going to happen on the ice, the Oilers have called up Connor Clattenburg from Bakersfield. Now, Connor Clattenburg, of course, is not here to provide offense. He is here to provide energy. He's here to hit everything that moves. And if the timing works out for him, drop the gloves with someone on the Panthers. But Clattenburg's got to be careful. There's a lot of players on Florida who are seasoned vets when it comes to fighting. And Connor Clattenburg, yes, he has fought quite a few opponents down in Bakersfield, but it's a little bit different when you're at the NHL level as opposed to fighting guys in the AHL. Now, some people might argue the AHL players that fight are actually like more goonish than in the NHL because you have to actually play in the NHL. You have to actually know how to play hockey up here. You have to score goals. You have to be able to play 5-on-5. You can't give up a lot of scoring chances when you're out there. And Connor Clattenburg doesn't really fit the mold of what I would imagine Chris Knobloch is usually preaching to his team. He has been pretty vocal about, he doesn't mind physicality as long as you're not chasing the hit, as long as you're not taking yourself out of position to make the hit. I'm very curious to see how Connor Clattenburg does tonight. He will be wearing number 64, which the Oilers have not seen since Nail Yakupov's rookie year. When he wore number 64 that year, that was very, very fun. N64, for those of you who remember that. Those were dark times. We were just trying to find anything that made us happy back in those days. If you enjoyed today's pregame report, make sure to hit that like button. If you really like it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And friendly reminder, I will be doing a live stream tonight, live stream commentary tonight for the Oilers and Panthers, and I think it's going to be an absolute doozy. So, as always, in these pregame reports, I'll be going over the projected lineup for the Oilers, the stats for both teams, how they match up against each other head-to-head, keys to the game, players to watch, score prediction. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep that conversation going down below. Let's check out the projected lineups for the Edmonton Oilers now that Clattenburg is up from Bakersfield. So, on the top line, looks like Savoy, McDavid, and Roslovic are staying intact. Now, Savoy, like I've mentioned in a couple videos in a row now, he is not getting on the score sheet, but I really like what he brings to that top six. I like what he brings when he plays with Connor McDavid. He is very hard on the forecheck. He's very responsible defensively, good with his stick, and he cuts off angles so fast. He keeps pressure alive in the offensive zone with his speed, and he just, when defenders are trying to make a play, Savoy is just all over them like a bee, all right? So, Matthew Savoy, I like his game next to McDavid, and of course, Jack Roslovic, one of the hottest players on the team right now, did not factor in the scoring against Tampa, but don't be surprised to see Roslovic maybe step up here and pot a goal tonight. Of course, Connor McDavid, we're all going to be watching, see what his type of play against Florida is going to be. Is it going to be an angry McDavid, or is it going to be a McDavid that is just focusing on the score sheet tonight and trying to get the boys a big win to finish 500 on the road trip? That would be huge, right? So we'll see what the captain has in store for his game. On the second line, Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Mangiapane. Podkolzin, he's been looking like he's wanting to fight someone for a couple of games now. He's been getting into things after whistles, and he's just been playing some angry hockey lately. The hits that he's throwing are just absolutely booming, and don't be surprised to see Podkolzin maybe pick a number tonight and try and go with someone as well. I don't think that this is going to be a line brawl situation, but don't be surprised if there's a few players that these teams hate each other, and there are multiple players on both sides that are probably willing to go with each other after losing 2 years in a row to the Panthers, and the Panthers beating Edmonton 2 years in a row, and then all the trolling that the Panthers players did when it came to their off-ice celebrations with their Stanley Cup. Listen, don't think that is not in the minds of a lot of Edmonton Oilers players, especially their leadership group. Don't be surprised to see a big game from McDavid and Draisaitl tonight. Third line, Frederic, Henrique, and Hyman. Of course, Trent Frederic, he scored against Tampa. He looked better in the game before against Tampa as well against Washington. Looks like Trent Frederic, right? If this is the start to get his season turned around, I'm all for it. The first 22 games were disappointing, but what are you going to do for the next 60 games? There's a long season still ahead here for Trent Frederic. It would be very nice to see him very engaged early, and if he can Provides secondary scoring. That's a bonus. Zach Hyman is on that third line as well. Don't think Hyman is not going to be going out and banging as many bodies as he can. Of course, Zach Hyman did not get to play against the Florida Panthers in this year's Stanley Cup Final because of his broken wrist that he suffered against the Stars in the conference final. So Zach Hyman, he is going to have a lot of emotion as well, a lot of heart in his game tonight. And whatever the team needs from him, he's going to go out and do it. And don't be surprised if there's a little bit of blood drawn by Zach Hyman here. On the fourth line, this is where you have Connor Clattenburg. He's with David Tomaszek and Matthias Janmark. Now, Tomaszek, I've liked his game overall at 5-on-5. He did score a goal against Washington. Tomaszek provides a lot of different things. He does a lot of little things on the ice that I really enjoy. He's probably never going to produce at a decent level in the NHL, but he's never going to be a problem when he's on the ice, as long as you give him good teammates. Now, Clattenburg, he's not out there to provide offense tonight. Connor Clattenburg, I don't even know how much ice time he's going to get. He may only get 2 or 3 shifts, but what is he going to do with those shifts? And will that affect the game in a positive way for Edmonton? Very, very curious to see how they utilize Clattenburg tonight with Tomaszek and Janmark. The team is already kind of beat up right now. Right now, they don't have Noah Philp, who they placed on LTIR. That allowed the Oilers just enough cap space to call up Clattenburg. Wallman was not on the ice for morning skate. He likely does not play tonight, is what I'm trying to say. Took a puck off the foot. He took a couple hard hits against the Lightning. He couldn't finish that game against Tampa, so I'm not surprised that Wallman potentially is out tonight. Curtis Lazar is out. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is out. For Clattenburg, Tomaszek, Janmark, just don't get scored against and see what you can provide on an emotional level for the team. On defense, you have Ekholm reunited with Evan Bouchard, Nurse with Regula, and of course Kulak with Emberson in the absence of Wallman. I don't mind that they've gone back to these pairs. Nurse and Regula did have some success earlier in the season together, so they got to find a way here, right? You got to just play as a team, play together, and play for each other. Stuart Skinner gets the start. I know a lot of fans wanted Calvin Pickard to get the start, but Stu is still technically their starter, and Calvin Pickard still, statistically, is one of the worst goalies in the NHL, despite his great play against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's see what Stuart Skinner can do tonight. We're going to need some Dark Stu energy if the Oilers have any chance of coming out with a win. Now, when it comes to the stats, the head-to-head matchup here, Florida, they are 11-8-1. They are 5th in the Atlantic Division. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. Their power play, they rank 16th. Their penalty kill, they rank 20th in the league. Goals per game, 23rd. Goals against per game, 14th, which isn't too bad. Expected goals for percentage, they rank 7th. Shots for percentage, they rank 9th. And their team save percentage at 5-on-5 ranks 18th. The story for the Florida Panthers so far this season has just been trying to make sure that their game is up to standard without Barkov and without Tkachuk, 2 of their best players and 2 of their best offensive players as well. That would be like if the Oilers did not have Draisaitl and Hyman in the lineup, right? Like there's a lot missing from Florida's lineup when it comes to their goal scoring abilities. Now, they do have guys that are producing well. Brad Marchand, 13 goals on the year. He's having an unbelievable season for them. But Florida is still a very good team, even though they're not scoring as much right now. They're still a very good team at 5-on-5. They control a lot of the play. They get a lot of scoring chances, and their expected goals reflects that, their expected goals percentage. So for the Oilers, just because Florida's shorthanded does not mean that Florida is an easy team to play against. In fact, I would argue that makes them much harder to play against because of the guys that they have in the lineup to try and make up for those bodies that are missing. Now, for the Oilers, they are 9-9-5. They are 5th in the Pacific Division, and they are 3-5-2 in their last 10 games. Power play ranks 3rd. Penalty kill ranks 8th, which is fantastic. Their special teams have been phenomenal all season long. If the Oilers are to get a power play or 2 tonight, hopefully they do. They got to make sure they capitalize on it because their 5-on-5 goal differential is the worst in the league, and they've also given up the most goals against at 5-on-5. They have to start playing much better at even strength here. The Oilers scored 2.96 goals per game, which ranks 20th. They give up 3.57 goals per game, which ranks 28th. Expected goals percentage ranks 23rd. Not very good when it comes to the possession metrics. Shots for percentage ranks 10th, and their team save percentage at 5-on-5, even despite Calvin Pickard's heroics the other night against Tampa, still ranks absolutely dead last, 87.55%. And this little fun stat that I kept having up on the screen, the Oilers were undefeated when they get a .900 save percentage. Well, they have now lost a game in overtime. Calvin Pickard put up a .943, and the team was not able to pick up the win. That was an offensive issue for Edmonton. Obviously, the goaltending was more than good enough. If you got a .940 every night, you're winning 65 out of 82 games, probably. I'm not asking for a .943. We're just asking for .900. That gives the team a chance. Let's see if the offense can pick it up for the goalie tonight, if they can get a .900 save percentage for them. Now, when it comes to the keys to the game for the Edmonton Oilers, keep the flame burning. Well, what do I mean by that? The flame, what I mean is the emotion, the inspired hockey that it looks like they've played for 2 games in a row now. They are playing for each other, and they have to keep playing for each other. Bond as a group, right? If you get the win, there's a lot of positives you can take from the road trip with a win tonight. It would go a long way for the mental side of the game and for the mental side of this team, knowing that they only have 2 games in the next week here. They got time off. They can be in their own bed. But you got to focus on the task at hand here. So do whatever it takes to get the job done. Whatever it takes, right? Whatever bruises they're dealing with, whatever injuries they may have, however tired they may be, whatever it takes. Find a way tonight. It's going to be an emotional game. It's going to be a high-paced game, just like the Tampa game was. Edmonton's got to be ready to go at puck drop. For Florida, their keys to the game here. Number 1, after whistle shenanigans, they are going to try and goad the Oilers into nonsense. Absolute nonsense after every whistle. Now, the Oilers have players that can get involved here, but it's definitely a mental game right now with Florida and Edmonton. Florida has beat Edmonton 2 years in a row in the finals. Florida, get Edmonton off their game. After whistle shenanigans, get the Oilers off their game. I can't even imagine the type of trash talk that's going to be going on the ice between players on both sides, especially for the team that is the back-to-back champs. They have all the ammo in the world to send towards Edmonton's bench, so it's going to be a very interesting game tonight on the ice. And also for Florida, hit everything that moves. If Florida is very physical against the Oilers, it will take Edmonton off their game. The Oilers, of course, like I said, there's a lot of bodies that they're dealing with that are kind of banged up right now. Florida can make it even worse and even more painful, even more annoying to deal with if they hit everything that moves. My players to watch: Connor Clattenburg for the Oilers, Brad Marchand for the Florida Panthers. I picked Clattenburg because it's his first National Hockey League game, and I want to see what he's bringing to the table here for the boys in front of him and around him. Brad Marchand for the Panthers. He is their leading goal and point scorer right now, and he is the heart and soul of their team. He's the heartbeat, and he's going to be involved in everything tonight, whether it's fights, whether it's after whistle shenanigans, trash talking, goal scoring. Brad Marchand will be involved on every part of the ice. Now, a quick game note before I get into the score prediction. A win tonight would give Edmonton a record of 3-3-1 to end their longest road trip of the season, and 6 of their next 8 games are at home. That's where they can make up a lot of these, we'll call it lost points in the standings, but a win tonight goes a long way. A loss, 2 wins on a 7-game road trip with a loss tonight, completely unacceptable. But a win, 500, I can accept that as a fan. This is a long, grueling road trip. Let's see if they can get the job done. When it comes to my score prediction, what am I going with? I think we're going to have an absolutely fantastic game, an exciting game, and I think your Oilers are going to come out on top 4-3 in overtime with a Clattenburg fight. That is my game day prediction here. Oilers win, Clattenburg fight. It's going to go to overtime, and I imagine there's going to be more than one fight in this game as well. I'm very much looking forward to the game. I'm very much looking forward to the live stream tonight. It's been a little bit since I've seen everyone. I haven't done a live stream in about a week or so, I think it was last Saturday against Carolina was my last one, so I'm excited to see you all there. It's going to be so much fun. Panthers fans, I know you're also excited to come into the chat tonight. I look forward to that as well. I will have the cat cam back up, so you can kind of see Mochi in the background up by my window there. She'll be hanging out. Kitty's going to be hanging out, and maybe even Franklin will make a stop into the live stream tonight as well. I appreciate and love all of you. I can't wait for the game. Tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers. I'll see you tonight, 5 p.m. Alberta time. Let's go.